Hello everyone, and coming up on in November of 2021, it does mark the 20th anniversary of the original Xbox. And what we're going to do for that month is I'm going to take a look at the original Xbox. 20 years on, it's still an interesting console. I thought the original Xbox, it was one of my favourite consoles, certainly of that generation. It did introduce online multiplayer, I think, to the masses. Really, Xbox Live was by far the best service. I know the PS2 had an online, it had like NetPlay or whatever it was called. But Xbox Live was just so much easier to use and so much better at the time. So we'll take a look at that. Again, I really loved the original Xbox. I think there's some really underrated games. I know Microsoft are having an event to mark its 20th anniversary. Now, they have said that there will be no new games announced at this event, but hopefully they announce some original Xbox games that are coming to the Xbox One and the Series console, because I think that is a bit underrated, really. I think the Xbox 360 has hundreds of games, that are backwards compatible on the modern Xbox consoles, but the original feels underrepresented. There's so many games that I'd like to see put on those original consoles and enhanced in 4K as well. Quite a few of them are. Again, we'll go through quite a few games. We'll go through my favorite Xbox games. I've got a top 10 list that we'll do in the month of November, because I feel like it was kind of an innovative console, and it did set the kind of standard for consoles in the future. Again, it was the first mainline console to have a hard drive. It also had, again, we talked about Xbox Live, how it's superior sort of online service, and its online driven games such as Halo 2 was a great example of it didn't have a great single player campaign, Halo 2, but the multiplayer was excellent and Xbox Live was excellent. That was the first game I got Xbox Live for. Was Halo 2. And again, you had games like Time Splitters, Future Perfect, Battlefront 2. There were some great games on the original Xbox, and it was a console that was ahead of its time. And I feel like even now, it's still a decent console to have in 2021. There's a lot of cool things you can do with an Xbox in 2021. There's a lot of like mods you can do and soft mods there that you can add, and it's still a decent system despite the fact that Xbox Live is long gone on it. And that is a bit of a shame too, because I like the original Xbox Live. It was decent. I have been a member of Xbox Live since 2004. Again, since Halo 2 came out, that was when I was a member. Halo 2 came out in November of 2004. Back in the day there. I think that was the last really good Halo game, to be honest with you. Halo 3 I was never a big fan of. But yeah, so we'll take a look at some Xbox games, some underrated Xbox games, some collections, some tips for owning an original Xbox these days, because they're still quite available and they're still quite cheap. You can pick them up fairly cheaply. But there is big issues with them, and that includes things like the clock capacitor, which is prone to leaking. I did do the surgery on my Xbox and remove the clock capacitor. I would recommend that you do that if you're going to keep your original Xbox, running, because it is just a ticking time bomb and it will leak, and it does have a sort of corrosive gel in it. It's a kind of acidic gel that it used. And if that gets on the motherboard, it will corrode the motherboard and it will brick your system, and that's it, gone forever. And again, your hard drive with all its content is gone as well, because each individual hard drive is locked to each individual Xbox. So that would be a shame to lose the Xbox. So again, removing that would be something that I would recommend doing. But anyway, we will take a look at it throughout the month of November. I will have a little look at some of the games, some of the features of the original Xbox. But anyway, that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.